Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Ener-She podcast, where we have conversations, never competition. Well, hello, everybody, my beautiful people, and welcome back to the Ener-She podcast. I'm your host, Adriana K. Granlund, and of course, my amazing co-hosts are Crystal Fana and Karen Shirley. Hello, ladies. So today's episode is going to feel a little different. This isn't just about conversation, it's about reflection. It's one of the moments where we actually slow down, take a look back, and reflect and really ask ourselves, who am I becoming through all of this in this process? Because the truth is, we don't just talk on this podcast, we actually evolve here, don't we? Holla.
Mhm,
You know what I mean?
mhm.
So if you've been listening, if you've been growing with us, then this episode is for you too. So, wherever you are, if you're driving, walking, sitting with your coffee, sitting in your house, I just want you to take a deep breath and come into this space with us. Let's get into it. So, ladies,
Trying to brush my hair while we talk.
I love that for you. I do.
And
I'm
I'm
a
trying to
side
fix
brusher.
my eyebrows.
Okay, let's get it. I love that. I love that. I love that for you both. Fixing hair, fixing an eyebrow.
We're on it today.
I
We're good.
love that. Happy Friday. Um, so I'm just going to guide us through a few questions that honestly have made me reflect too. And Crystal had a thank you for coming up with these. This is fantastic. So when we first started this podcast, what did you guys think it was actually going to be, and what has actually become of it?
I don't know, this podcast, I don't necessarily know that I had an idea of what it was going to look like. Like, I didn't even think I really thought we were gonna have guests, honestly, at first. I feel like that kind of just evolved into something, and I'm so glad that it did because, like, I think I've already learned more than I thought I was gonna learn. Like, this is our 7th episode, so we've done 6 episodes before this, and we've done 3 no, 2 guests?
Mm, two guests. Yep.
2 guests, yeah,
Mhm.
um, great guests,
Yes.
and, yeah, I don't I don't know, I think what's different is how fast I feel like it's gone by, but it's
Mhm.
been 3 months.
That's
Like
wild to
like,
say.
we started in January, and it's been 3 months that we've been doing this. It's crazy.
That's so crazy. No way did it go by that quickly. Like, that's wild.
We're FY2, FYQ2 coming up,
That's wow.
or
FYQ2?
CYQ2.
What does that even stand for,
That
Crystal?
means, Crystal.
Help us out.
You're blowing me
For
away
those who
right now.
We're going into the 2nd quarter of calendar year 2026, you
Oh,
know?
wow, that's crazy. That's insane. Time has flown. Well, thank you for sharing that, Crystal. I agree. It's just so it's happened so quickly, and um, 6 months is not. I mean, I still can't even process that, but it's already good. I mean, it's 3 months. That's so fast. What do you think, Karen? What's been the most like, what did you first think about when we started out doing our podcast? Like, what did you think this was going to be, and into what it versus what it's actually become?
I didn't really have any expectations of what it was going to be because I was just following my bestie into her adventure.
It's me. I love that for you.
So I was really going with the flow of it. And like I said, didn't have any real expectation and just doing something new and doing stuff that's outside of my comfort zone and outside of the box for me and trying something new and seeing where it goes, right?
Right.
And so far so good. And the second part of that question is what it actually is for me now,
Hmm.
growth. And what I've so and when I say growth, what comes to mind for me is that the stuff that I have said, things that I have said out loud, which I've said out loud before, but in like a close knit circle, that is now out there for anybody to view. Um, I went through a process after I said that out loud because I like triggered myself in all of that.
Mhm.
And through processing all of that, I feel like I have grown and released a lot of stuff and have found a sense of freedom in that. So that's something that I was not expecting and not aware that I was going to achieve out of this.
Mhm. Very cool. Absolutely. Wait, and I'm
Yeah.
really impressed by the way you've been able to open up, both of you on here and just really express your deepest truths in whatever facet that you've been holding on to them for so long, because through that, other people gain so much healing by hearing that, because we hear like me too, or it's so relatable to so many. And the feedback we've been getting from that has been phenomenal. You know,
Yeah.
it's
I
been
get a lot of
great.
Yeah.
feedback too.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
think the first like 3 episodes, the 3rd episode was the heavy one, right? That
Yeah.
was the the
The
the
core
the
wounds.
traumas that we carry, and I I don't think I realized how, at least in those first 3 episodes, how concerned I was going to be, like, looking back at everything I said, like, the next day. Like,
Hmm.
going over, like, "Oh, should I have said that? Should I have said this?" And then, like, I think I shared with you guys, like, going back and editing and then rewatching it all was, like, a whole 'nother response, right? Because I'm now editing my own trauma and,
Yeah.
like, editing out, like, what I should say or shouldn't, and so there was so much there was, like, an emotional part saying it, then there was an emotional part thinking about what I had
Mhm.
said, and then the emotional part watching it back.
Yeah.
It's like all these different stages, I feel like, of healing through this process that I don't think I realized I was gonna go through, you
Yeah.
know? And
Absolutely.
the last 3 episodes, I feel like I've been less, like, since that 3rd episode, I've been less worried about what I say.
Right.
It's like it's been a release of like, "Okay, well, now I can do anything."
Yeah. Right.
You know?
If I could say that,
Yeah.
then like I can say whatever.
Like,
Right.
after we have an episode, I'm not staying up at night, like, spinning over everything that we said, which those
Totally.
first 3 episodes, I was doing that every night, you
Wow.
know? Yeah,
Thank you for sharing that truth and
yeah.
honesty. Right. Um, I I would say when we first started this podcast, I don't think that I had in particular anything else in mind except for these few things. That I wanted this to help as many people, as many women specifically as possible, but people as well, by hearing us tell our truths or just having open, honest conversations that they could find help and relate to. So that was number one. And number two is the that I just wanted to do something with this podcast because it's something I've always wanted to do. And I don't ever wanna be the person who talks about the things that they wanna do in life and spends their whole life talking about it. I'm a doer, and I wanna spend my life being a doer, right? Because I feel like there's different people in this world, and we all know there's people who talk about life and what they wanna do with it, and there's people who live life. Right? And I wanna be a doer. So, that's what I wanted it to be, and I think that when I went into this with no expectations of just helping as many people as possible, then it will help the right people, and that's what it's done so far. And so I think that's inevitably what it needs to become, or what it's become has been fantastic and exactly what it's meant to, and it will continue to evolve, grow, and change. The one aspect that did surprise me though is the piece that we actually talked about in our last episode with Kristen, is where one of my many things that I wanna do is help other life coaches, and I wanna help them and put them, on platforms to, greatness, and attract people to them so that they can gain the help that they need, so that you're not jumping through hurdles of insurance, right? Where your insurance is then choosing for you who you can see, and you can only see them 1 time a month, but you have access to life coaches who don't have the red tape, who have the knowledge and have the skill to help you, and I can help place you with the right ones. And so that's what this is. This has taken a turn for me that I didn't anticipate, but it's exactly what it needed to be. And so that I'm really grateful for.
I love that. And what you were saying about being a doer, it made me think of when Kristen, I loved last episode when she said, I don't want to be a manifester, I want to be a creator.
Yes.
You
Oh,
know, that it was I just edited that episode and I was watching it back and I was like,
mm,
I was like, "Did I miss that? I must have not heard that right." Because like, going back and rewatching it, I was like, "Man, there's so many good little nuggets of information in there." I was gonna drop this question. Have you noticed any patterns in your life that keep coming up as we've talked through these topics?
mm,
And I think this is kind of for me, like, the pattern. I don't know if it's necessarily a pattern, but something that keeps coming up is like, "What am I doing?"
yeah.
What am I doing with my life? You know? And I guess that's not to joke about midlife crises, but I think there is something about being in your 40s, like, and we talked about this in the perimenopause episode, right? Of like, we get to this age and where you stop caring about what other people think, and we stop caring, or we start caring less, and we start being more aware of it. And it makes us be like, wait, why am I doing what I'm doing? Because I was just doing this whole time because it was the safe option
Yeah.
and it was what, I thought I was supposed to be doing. And now I'm at the point where, like, I don't know if I necessarily want to be doing, it like just makes you question everything. And so I
Mhm.
feel like that pattern has like keep that idea, that thought process keeps coming up, like reoccurring in my head of like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Like,
Mhm.
over and
Mhm.
over again. And this has kind of like made me think about that more.
Well, I loved your answer, and I feel like that is a really good pattern to pay attention to, though, right? Is what's coming up for you, and it sounds to me like it is, you know, this is come because you're actively doing something that you've always maybe wanted to do. It starts to make you question, what else am I not doing that I feel like I should be doing? Right? Is there anything else that I've been putting on the back burner? And what am I even doing with my life right now? Because this has shifted so many things, right? Thank you for sharing that. I loved it. I loved your answer. Care Bear, what about you? Any patterns popping up?
There.
Care Bear
Pat-
Steve.
Kern. It's patterns. Well, through the whole process of this since the beginning of the year, um, and the art of sitting still, and I know the podcast has definitely has influenced this. Um, More things have come to surface for me because I've been afforded the opportunity to have time for stuff to come up for me instead of being so busy that everything else gets pushed to the side. So like things that I haven't thought about in years that have been shoved away, and making connections to things, and just other opportunities for growth within this whole process. So I'm really grateful for all of that.
Mm, love that. Well said. Well said, bestie. I like that. Good for you. I love the space that you're in right now with that space to really take a look at yourself. And as women, I actually am going to agree with that and piggyback off that a little bit. Um, as we've been talking through these topics, the one thing that I am noticing in these patterns for me is that I have been so busy in my life trying to play catch up and trying to do all the things that we're supposed to do as women, that I have not taken time to actually sit with myself and have had the time until now to talk about the things that I actually want to talk about with my friends, right? Like, I want to talk about perimenopause. I want to talk about spirituality, and I want to do it. And in a way that I'm not rushed, where I'm not fearful of other people's judgment or all the things. And I have not had time to do that until now, right? Because I've been so concerned of my whole life with of what other people would think, or because I'm a working professional in my field that I'm supposed to say certain things or not say certain things. And I don't feel that way now. I feel like I have the freedom and the luxury to talk about the things that I want to talk about with my girls and just be honest about it. Um, and that feels really good. So a pattern that I'm noticing for myself is the freedom of speech. And I love that for me. I love that for me right now, right? And just owning my truth. And it just keeps coming up again and
Good.
again and again. I don't have to deny what I feel. I don't have to suppress what I feel. I am staying true to who I am, what I feel, and what I think. And that's new for me. And I love that. So that's new.
To piggyback off that, because something came up for me as you're saying that, I think through also this process with saying everything on here, it's been easier and more quick for me to say exactly what's on my mind
Yeah.
and speak my feelings, set boundaries, and when I don't like something or something bothers me or
Ah, I get you actually can I tie that into the next question? Because that's so good. I love that. And what I'm hearing you say is that you're learning to embrace your empowerment and you're not afraid of speaking your voice anymore. You're not afraid of speaking your truth, right? Which I love for you because as somebody who's been her best friend for some years now, that's something that I've watched her not do. So to hear her say it and to hear her, and I'm like, what did you say you did? Right? I'm like, yes. And that is the same kind of empowerment that I hope we impact our viewers with to start owning their truths and to start owning your voice. And I hope that we encourage that for people who are fearful to do the thing that they've always wanted to do or say the thing that they've always wanted to say out of fear of judgment or like of people pleasing and all the things. Like, I hope that we embrace that, embody that, and exude that so other women and people know you can do it too, right? And it's okay. But I wanted to tie what you said into the next question, which is one of our episodes we talked about patterns and relationships and why we keep choosing the same kinds of relationships even when we know better or the same kind of patterns. Why do you think we do that?
comfortability,
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
vibration,
Mm.
frequency. It goes deeper than that too.
Well, go deeper. I knew what you were
That's what
thinking.
she said.
I was waiting for you or Crystal to say it. I was waiting.
I'm being good.
Your wife will be
That is being good though.
when you say deep, what do you mean? How deep?
Um, well, there's a pattern to that for sure, right? And so if we reenact, replay out old relationships and new people, and if we conquer or master that, then and when I say we, I mean, women as a whole, not as a whole, but as women who do this. Men do it too, right? Um, then there's a false sense of healing in that,
Hmm?
or possibly offering a long desired need that wasn't filled by a absent parent or um, trauma that happened in childhood, something that was
Hmm.
lacking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah. Thank you, Karen. I like that. What do you think, Crystal?
Yeah. Sometimes I think, I agree with everything Karen said. But then I also think that in my experience, it's tied to your self worth. and what you think you're valued at. Um, and especially when you get in a relationship with someone who's narcissistic or has some other type of, you know, emotional abuse, all it does is diminish that the worth you little bit of worth you already had, right? So it's like you're just getting beaten down and beaten down with every relationship you get into, I feel like sometimes. If you're
Mhm.
repeating those patterns, right? And so at some point you really don't think you have no value of
Mhm.
for yourself. So
Like
I
sandpaper?
think, yeah, and I do think that can start, in your early childhood with your parents, right? Like if your parents, don't teach you that, don't teach your value, don't teach you, that you're worth something. And even if they do, right? Like it
Mhm.
can still happen. You can meet that. There's always, what do you say? There's always a guy. There's
Yes,
always there's always a guy in someone's story. So it's
there
always,
is.
you know. Um,
Mhm.
and so, um, but yeah, I think there is that comfort, and that's tied to that comfortability and being afraid of trying something new and breaking that and not recognizing that. Um, but I want to go back really quick to y- when you were talking about the last question. I realized that like this podcast, in a way, for me, has become a form of self care.
Mm.
It's like every time that we're recording, it's like I know I'm going into a situation where I can say whatever I want, and people care about my opinion. People want to like have a conversation with me and hear what I have to say. Like, and I think that's kind of what we were saying, what Karen was saying, what you were saying. It's like it's building that confidence for like other points in our life where we're now like, no, like what my word does have weight. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I do know what I want. Like, and I feel like this has definitely played a part in that. And like also going back to saying what we have said on this podcast, like to quote Brene Brown, it's like shame cannot survive being spoken,
Mhm.
right? So it's like now that we've we've given it light, we've brought the shame to the light. It's like there's no weight there. That weight has been lifted from us,
Mhm.
right? And
Absolutely.
and so I definitely feel like this I did not expect all of that to come from this. Like, I was hoping just to like reach a few people and maybe help some people, but
Right.
helping myself wasn't number one on the list. Yeah.
Wow. So good. I
Beautifully
appreciate that.
said.
So good.
I hate
Thank you.
shame.
It's because of you guys. You guys
Shame
helped
got me
build this.
loaded for a long time. I don't allow shame in my house. I don't allow shame in my vocabulary. I don't allow shame.
Mhm. Right. Straight
Right.
up.
Yeah. But giving it words, putting words to it, right? Like not letting it live up here or live in here, like
Mhm.
releases you, but it's important to
Absolutely.
have that safe space,
It
Yeah.
is.
right? Like, and trusting each other and knowing. I mean, yeah, it's out in the world now.
Yeah.
Just don't think about that part.
Right. I'm like, if you guys could just forget that the world is listening, you'll be fine. It'll be fine. No big deal. Right. But actually, and that's a valid point. I think one of the things that I recognized many moons ago when I started doing my step work, and for those people, our viewers who are unfamiliar with what that is, for those of us who are in recovery of alcohol or drugs, or people, places or things, we can utilize support groups like Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, CODA, and things like this. And so we have what's called step work and steps, and we in our programs. And through actively working the steps, one of the things I learned, besides having a therapist, was I had a sponsor. And when I was sitting with my sponsor, we have what's called a step four, and I actively worked on my step four. It took me weeks because I wanted to do it with thoroughness and accuracy, and I wanted to leave nothing out because I wanted to get all of that shame, all of that stuff that was festering inside of me, all the things that I have been through that I felt so much shame around, and I wanted to get it down on paper. And when I sat with my sponsor and I for the first time in my life was completely honest and open and real about what I had been through, I found myself reading it out to her like this, like, so I did this thing that I'm really ashamed about, and this is what it was. And I would like almost look at her out of the side of my eye, like as if she was going to judge me or leave me or like a look for disgust or disdain. And I got none of it. I got none of it. And it was like once I got all of that out, I realized and I was looking at her and I go, so do you what do you like do you hate me? Like, are you still gonna work with me? And she was well, yeah. She goes, "Well, that's done." And she goes, "You wanna go get coffee?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And it was in that moment that I realized that the only person who was judging me for all of that was me, just me. And so that when I realized that, and for people who would judge me for it, they're not my people. So it's in those moments where in moments like that that I realize that I wanna share that gift with other people, and I encourage people to talk about the thing that they feel the shame about, right? And that's how we take the power out of whatever it is that we're giving that, and we shine a light on those dark spaces within us and bring healing to it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. That's good. Mm, 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 mm. What's our next question, y'all?
I
Mm.
don't know, but you know what?
Okay.
You've created a monster.
Bring it. Bring it.
Is it
I was
under
just
your
thinking,
bed?
like, what I was just thinking, like, what's some of like the favorite? Because I have so many favorite one-liners that have come out of some of the episodes we've had. Like, I remember Kale saying, um, "I don't care that you have baggage. I care how nicely it's packed or how neatly it's packed." Like that was like it was like so simple, and I just was like, God, I love that because it's true. It's like
So
if you
good.
know what you're bringing to the table when you're starting to date somebody,
Mm,
that makes 100% of a difference than just coming in with chaos, right?
yeah. So
Like,
good.
yeah,
Right? My favorite was, Kristen's, "I'm on God's payroll." I utilize that all the time, every single day when I start to, because I own my own business, right? Adriana at Inflection Point Life Coaching, and every day I remind myself that I'm on God's payroll, that my money doesn't come from other people, those are the vessels. He's the source, right?
yeah,
That's my fave.
yeah.
Yeah, great
Those are good
one-liners.
ones. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Go
Kristen
back and watch everybody.
Karen's wackadoo.
Ding ding.
I forgot. I got to start making merch. Merch with our
Yeah,
wackadoos.
right? So good.
Hashtag wackadoo and ding ding.
And ding ding. Love that. Um, what has been some of the most unexpected parts of this chapter of your life, would you say? And how has it changed you?
I think I've thought about my childhood and not like in how you would expect I would mean that. I mean of like who was I before trauma? Like what was I leaning towards? At some point, I don't know when, I don't know why, I don't know if it was even meant to happen or whatever happened was a negative thing, but at some point I just stopped wanting to be heard. Like my light was diminished through communication in some way, right? Like again, I don't know if it's I had that speech impediment, people can understand me. It's just because I had older brothers that, were like, shut up, we don't care, you know, because they're older brothers, Um, but like I go back to like, oh no, remember you like took modeling classes and acting classes when you were in junior high and like you wanted to like, you know, like be in commercials and like do all these things when I was young. And then it was just like, because it was fun. Like I liked talking to people, I liked doing things, but like at some point I stopped wanting to do that,
Mhm,
and now I'm like, but I enjoyed that. Like I just naturally enjoy like talking to people, getting to know people, like trying to like understand, like communication for me is like understanding someone. Like that's why I want to communicate. I want to talk to people that understand
mhm.
what they're going through, how they think, all the things. So coming back to that and relearning that was, like, kind of a surprise and, like, came out of nowhere,
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Get that.
but yeah.
Karen, what about you?
What has been the most unexpected part of this stage of my life?
Mhm. And how has it changed you, boo?
My whole
Hint
life has been unexpected at this stage of my life.
right?
All of it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm at a place that is like the complete opposite of where I was 2 years ago,
Mhm.
you know? I mean, like, complete opposite
Yeah.
in, like, all ways, and, and what's most for me right now, what's most, I don't even wanna say difficult,
Mhm.
I because it's not, like, difficult, it's just different, and so because it's different, there's change involved, and change, even though change is inevitable and it's constant, I have a hard time with it. I always have, so I get wiggly, right?
Mhm.
Is the fact that I'm not chasing my career. It is not
Yeah.
my hyper focus. It is not my hyper fixation. It is not what's feeding my drive or my spirit. It's not what's um it's not my force.
Right.
It's not what is solidifying my worth.
Totally.
And
Totally.
in that, but that's what it was for 7, 8 years. So, that's the different part, and that's the change, and even though there's a whole bunch of other change that surrounds all of that, but, uh, so to find where I'm going with myself, uh, that's the difficult part for me.
Mhm.
I've been
Hyper focused.
so hard, so long,
Right?
and now I'm not.
Yeah.
Because and so and my focus, what I found to be most important is my well-being,
Mhm.
and my well-being comes with balance, and with my family, and my community, and my friends, and the love that I receive within that,
Mhm.
but I also need to make a living. And then there's that, you know? And so, and I like what I did and do, right? I do. I just don't know at what capacity in which I wanna do it in. And
Absolutely.
so I'm waiting for
Mhm.
the spiritual push, the nudge in which I've always received and all of the things that I've done.
Mhm.
So I think that's the most unexpected shift in within me,
Yeah.
amongst, like I said, a whole bunch of other stuff.
Mhm.
I never thought I'd be a single mom again,
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you.
you know? Um,
But you make it look so good, girl. You do. You making it
er,
look good, girl. Let me tell you. Yes. Oh, energy sparkle. Right?
I never
You really
thought
do.
I never thought that I would age like a fine wine.
Ooh, girl. Tell the truth. Yes, honey.
I
Girl, we look
lost
better than we've ever
210
looked.
pounds
You know what I
when
mean?
he walked out the door, but, like, uh, you know what I'm saying?
Transformation.
Like,
Yes,
that was
ma'am.
wild, and,
Mhm.
so I've gained a lot of things, like, the past year and a half
Yeah.
that were very unexpected, that came out of the most heartbreakingest, difficult time of my life,
Mhm.
and so now I'm in a spot where I'm actually able to sit still and be comfortable in my own skin, which took a long time to get there 'cause, that wasn't easy. and I'm just, trying to figure out what my next move is, and I'm, like, so grateful for this time because it's my
Mm,
time.
yes.
It really is my time, and I'm enjoying, like, every minute of it, and this
I
is part
love
of
that.
it.
Yeah, I love that for you. I truly do. And watching you both evolve and grow and change as I'm sure you're watching me evolve and grow and change is such a gift when you have a community of women, which is essentially what we're also not only giving to our viewers, but also to our viewers who respond and like watch and allowing them to know that it is okay to evolve, grow, and change. And you can do that along with us. Right. So thank you for sharing all of that. And I think to say that we can go through hard things and still know that it's going to be okay, and as long as you have a community around you, like you have support to lean on, right? And we can make it look as perfect or as messy as it needs to be, and that's okay. I'm finding for me in this chapter of my life that I've always been a doer. I've always been like a dreamer, like a big dreamer, and I dream big, right? And I'm one of those people who wants to take off to the moon and go capture the stars. And I'm also somebody who believes it's possible, though. I really do. Um and so this year, although I think what I'm finding is that I can do the things and have the ideas in my mind of how I want things to go. But what I love about my higher power and creator, whom I call God, is that he's going to help me manifest my goals and my dreams, but it might look different, right? So, for instance, I wrote a book, which is something I've always wanted to do since I can remember. Thank you. And I wrote my memoir, beautifully broken and wonderfully put back together. And I literally wrote in a book, in a me and I got yeah. Oh, thank you, bestie. There it is. There it is. That's my book. Oh, you modeled it so lovely. So I literally bought for Karen's birthday a journal. Okay. And we buy each other the same gifts. If I buy one for myself or one for her, I have to buy one for myself. And so this journal this beautiful journal that she's modeling these so beautifully, right? You can find this at Rock Mama, by the way. Just so you know, Rock Mama hashtag. We're going to give you a little shout out. We love Rock Mama. And so I gifted her this journal for her birthday. And because I bias the same of everything, unbeknownst to me, I had written in one. So because one was supposed to be mine and the other one was supposed to go to her. For her birthday, packed her mine. That's what I did there. Right. And so she's opening up her birthday gift. I had given her my copy, and so I had written down all these hopes and dreams that I had wanted to manifest. And then so later on, I had her write all of her hopes and dreams that she wanted to manifest. And I realized in that moment nothing happens in God's world by mistake. And I believe all of that was intentional because she and I have such a strong soul connection, as soul sisters and friends, that we are meant to help each other manifest our goals and our dreams in this lifetime. And I believe that to be true with my whole heart. And so it was so funny because she and I were conversating around my book this week was given an award, and I was awarded best memoir. Thank you for the Goody Business Book Awards. And it was such an honor. It's such an honor because I didn't get in that to receive an award. I did it to help other people the way I set out to do everything. And so to get an award is such an honor. And she was reading through our journals, and she goes, I just want to tell you that you have manifested one of your goals, and it doesn't look exactly like you had written it, but it's really darn close. And I was like, that's the thing that we're talking about, is that we will write things down and manifest them, and we have these dreams and these hopes, but it will always, and then yes, it will turn out, but it will turn out the way it's meant to, and not always the way that I think it should. So that's what I'm learning about this chapter of my life, is that I am that, and it's okay to be the dreamer, where I was criticized for that when I was younger, being a dreamer. Like, you fairy tale, you dream too. Well, look what happens when I do. It turns out pretty well, I would say. So, I'm gonna continue to be that dreamer. I'm gonna continue to go after my dreams and manifest those things. But like our session with, our episode with Kristen last week, I'm gonna be the creator, like Crystal said. I'm gonna be the creator of my life. I'm not just gonna be, I'm not just gonna tag along for the ride and hope that it stays. I'm gonna create my life that I want. So it's changed me in a lot of ways, and I'm gonna keep. It's given me more drive. I would say all of this more. So hang tight, ladies. More is coming. Right? Thank God for Botox. We'll need it after we're back.
We're on the roller coaster in a good way. We're like, "Whoa."
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. So as we get ready to close up, I have one more question for us ladies. For the woman listening, for the women or the woman listening right now who knows she needs change but hasn't yet started yet, what would you say to her?
Find your people.
Speak your
Starts
truth.
there, I think. And speak your truth, yeah.
Speak your truth. Yeah. Find your
Faith over
Don't be
people.
fear.
afraid. Yeah.
Same thing. That was amazing, Crystal. Good job.
Yes. Very good. Find your people. Speak your truth. Um, I would also like to say, don't be afraid of your truths and what's true to you. You don't have to be afraid of who you are. And oftentimes, I think as women, that's actually one of our biggest fears is sitting with ourselves, right? And exuding who we actually are out of fear of judgment of others. And I think that as women, if you could just sit with yourself, ask yourself who you are, uh, develop who you want to be, and don't be afraid of that. Share it with the world, and your people will find you.
Yeah. And you matter. Your
Matter.
voice matters.
Yes, you're enough,
Point. Hey,
lady.
everybody point.
You're enough. Oh, hold on.
Ding ding.
You're enough. You're enough. So, ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. And to our viewers, thank you. I just want to take a moment to say something that if this episode has spoken to you, it's not by accident. That's awareness. And awareness is where everything begins. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't even have to change everything overnight. But what you can do is start noticing and start choosing differently. Start coming back home to yourself because healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who you had to be. And you deserve that version of you. If this episode resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe and send it to a woman in your life who might need to hear this. And as always, stay soft, stay powerful, and stay in truth. And keep watching Awakening Your Energy.
Ding ding.
See you next time.
Bye.
Ding ding.